All right, so we shall begin. Those who are late shall join us when we have started. We can't keep those of us who have joined on time. So this is PASSCODE Global Consultants webinar, more specifically on the product of German language, which we do offer. So PASSCODE offers a number of services to clients. We do offer NCLEX trainings. We do offer language proficiency subjects, TOEFL, IELTS, OET, and the rest. We also offer German. Yeah, so today we are going to do German webinar. We have a visitor with us today who is an expert in German language. She has passed through the same. But before that, I would like just to introduce our team, the team from PASSCODE. My name is Caleb Wanjula. I'm the one head of marketing and public relations. So I also have with me for today our languages director or coordinator, who is also going to give just a brief of what they do in the department and also welcome our visitor for today. So as that happens, let us continue inviting our friends and welcome to those of us who have joined this webinar. And I believe you're going to come out of this meeting, your questions answered and maybe clarities you may want to get from us. Let us keep them coming in the chat so that when our presenter is done, we shall answer the questions. So I have Sharon with me, who is the head of languages at PASSCODE. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Sharon to say a word and give us a brief of what they do in the department and how someone can join even before she welcomes our visitor or our presenter today. So feel most welcome, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Caleb. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. My name is Sharon. I'm the languages coordinator at PASSCODE Global Consultants. And I really want to take this time to welcome each one of you for taking their time to join us for this webinar. And I believe that it's going to be a very educative session for all of you. And as I always say, sharing is caring. The information that you get here, maybe there's someone who wanted to attend, but were not able to attend because of maybe one thing or the other. Some are working, some are driving home, some are not at home. So if you know someone who can benefit from this information, just share it with them. Yeah, so we're going to give you some information about German pathway that is very beneficial. Before you even start your journey to Germany, you need to know why you should go to Germany, why choose Germany and not any other country, and why PASSCODE is the place to be that will guide you through this pathway and unlock your dreams in Germany. So now, I want to welcome each one of you. So you're just going to unmute your mic, say your name, if you're comfortable, where you come from, if you're comfortable with that, and your expectations about this webinar. And you can be writing down as many questions as you have, as many questions as possible, so that we answer them at the end of the webinar. So please unmute yourself, except for our speaker today. So the rest of you, you can unmute yourself one by one. Say your name, where you come from, what are your expectations about today's webinar, and why do you want to go to Germany? Do you want to go to study? Do you want to go to work? And so on. So please feel free to unmute yourself and introduce yourself before we get to the presentation.
So we can start with Betty. Betty, if you can unmute and introduce yourself. Hello, Betty. Okay, we can go to Johnson. Johnson, if you can hear me, please unmute your mic and say a word.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello.
Okay, my name is Benson Royce. I'm here this is my second time for this webinar. And I'm here to learn more and get more information from what I had in the last webinar. I'm so glad because this webinar helped us a lot in getting the legit information concerning relocating to Germany, because it is not easy when one doesn't have the right information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Johnson. Michael? Hello, Michael. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, well, let's go to Namakau. Namakau has left. Namakau, can you hear me? Please unmute and say hi.
Hi,
Hi.
can hear
How
you.
are you?
Hello.
I'm fine.
Yes, you can introduce yourself, where you come from, and your expectations.
Yeah, my name is Namakao. I'm a nurse by profession. I'm from Zambia. I
Oh.
want to know more about German.
Wow, great. You're in the right place. Welcome. Michael?
Okay,
Hey, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Michael Ujinga Ungaro, a registered nurse here in Kenya, and also United States registered nurse, but I'm really interested in the German partner. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Real Nicorete. I hope I've pronounced your name right. Please say hi. Jeru, please say hi if you can hear me. Okay, let's go to Sally. Okay. If you can't unmute, you can just introduce yourself in the chat, even as Sharon continues.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I'm glad that we have people even from other countries here for this webinar. And I think I've seen Namakau on our WhatsApp page asking some questions. So please have those questions today. We are going to answer them. So for those who are not in, when I was introducing myself, I'm Sharon, the languages coordinator at PASSCODE Global. And thank you so much and welcome. So I'm going to start. Before now we go to our speaker, she'll introduce herself when I give her the chance to do the presentation. She's a nurse by profession, so nurses who are here, you will get a lot of information from her. She's a USRN registered nurse and also a German registered nurse. So you feel free to ask her a lot of questions and she's going to answer them. Now, I want this to be a very interactive session. And I'm going to start our presentation today differently by asking a question. So how many of you here have an idea of any German-speaking country? You can unmute yourself and answer. Who knows any German-speaking country? And we have one in Africa. Just a trial. You can unmute, then you give the answer.
For me, I know Luxembourg, Germany, Austria.
You're supposed to give one, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And all of are correct. You've said Luxembourg, Germany, and Austria. Then there is a country in Africa that speaks German language. Who knows what country it is? Just give a trial. Anyone? I don't know if you've heard of Namibia. So Namibia speaks German. So those are some of the countries that speak German language. So if you have knowledge of German language, you can either work in Germany or Deutschland. You can work in Austria. You can work in Luxembourg, and you can work in any European country. I'm going to talk about that later on when we talk about the visas. So German language has 6 modules, and German language is not a simple language and is not a hard language. I would say it really you really have to put in the work. As much as we have the best tutors, you really have to put in the work. Because remember, this is a foreign language and a new language that you're learning. So it's not easy and it's not hard. I'm going to teach you some German language so that you see how German works. So I'll request Sharon Kanana, to unmute herself because I want us to have a little discussion here. Sharon,
Yes,
wie geht's?
mir geht es gut und Ihnen?
Mir geht es super.
Sehr gut.
So that means wie geht's is German for how are you? And she said mir geht es gut. So that means I am very good. And you und Ihnen, that means und you, but it's a formal setup. Then I said I am super, but in German it is super. So I am okay. So German is an interesting language to learn. If you want to say good morning, who knows how you say good morning auf Deutsch? Please unmute yourself and answer. If you know how you say good morning auf Deutsch, please unmute yourself.
Guten Morgen.
Very good. You say guten Morgen. How about good day? How do you say good day in German? Yes, Michael, it's correct. I've seen you've answered it on the chat box. If you're not able to unmute, you can just type on the chat box. So how do you say good day in German? So you say guten Tag. Nice, very nice. Sally, you've answered it correctly. So you say guten Tag. It is written tag, but you say it tag. Guten Tag. How do you say, yes, correct, Johnson? How do you say good night auf Deutsch?
Gute
How do
Nacht.
you say? Sorry?
Gute Nacht.
Very right. So you say not gute Nacht. You say gute Nacht. Not guten Nacht. It is gute Nacht. Iko nako ka. Sorry. It has that ka Nacht. So that's how you say good night. How do you say we'll talk later when you're speaking to someone on a phone call, not in person? How do you say we'll talk later? When you're talking to someone on a phone call, how do you tell someone that we are going to talk later?
Wir reden später.
Sorry?
Wir reden später.
Okay, so that's a good trial, a very good trial. But you say auf Wiederhören because you're talking to them on a phone call. Just like, you know, when you were telling someone like we'll talk later in person, you say auf Wiedersehen. Now that's the difference. So I hope that I've taught you some German language. Myself, I'm a B1 student. So it's an interesting language to learn, very interesting. So let me talk about now the different modules that are there. So I talked about 6 modules. We have from A1 to C2. So A1 and A2 are beginner levels. Then B1 to B2 is the intermediate levels. Then C1 and C2 are advanced levels. So those are the modules that are there in German language learning. So most people ask, sorry, what level do I need for me to relocate to Germany? And the answer is you need up to B2 level or B1, depending on what you're going to Germany to do. If you're going through a pathway called Ausbildung that I'm going to talk about, then hand over now to Sharon. We are 2 Sharons here. So the other Sharon is Sharon Kanana, then there's Sharon Omboy. So if you're going to do a program called Ausbildung, you're supposed to do up to B2. If you're going as a nurse, a registered nurse in your respective countries, you need up to B1 language, German language only. So nurses have an added advantage here. So what pathways can you use to go to Germany? We are going to talk about 2 in this webinar. Then the rest, we'll talk about them in the other webinar. So there are 4 pathways. There's volunteering, there's nursing, there's Ausbildung, and Au pairing. So for today's webinar, we are just going to talk about Ausbildung and nursing. So let me talk about Ausbildung. What is Ausbildung? Ausbildung is a vocational training where you go study and work in Germany. So it's a hands-on kind of setup where you're working and at the same time you're studying. So that is what we call Ausbildung. So Ausbildung has all the available fields that you can think of. There is Ausbildung in hospitality. There is Ausbildung in nursing. There is Ausbildung in medicine, Ausbildung in engineering, hospitality. All of the professions that are there is an Ausbildung on the same. So for Ausbildung, what happens is you're going to be schooling for like 3 days a week. Then the rest of the days you're working. A very perfect example, let me give an example of person X or person A who's going to Germany or Luxembourg to do Ausbildung in nursing. So a perfect example that you will all understand what I mean is Aga Khan Hospital. So you know Aga Khan has the hospital part and the school part. So for Ausbildung, you'll be studying at Aga Khan, the school, and working at Aga Khan, now the hospital. Another good example, I've seen there are many people here from Meru, and I know the Marians who are here know of Chogoria Hospital. So the Chogoria Hospital has a hospital and a school, the Clive Ivan School of Nursing. So you'll be studying at Clive Ivan and working at Chogoria Hospital. So that is how Ausbildung is. If you're an engineer, you'll be studying in an engineering school and working in an engineering firm. So that's how Ausbildung works. What are the qualifications of Ausbildung? For you to do Ausbildung in Germany, you need two things only. You just need Form 4 certificate, KCSE certificate, with a minimum of D+ and above. And you need a German B2 language certificate. Those are the only two things that you need for you to start your process of studying in Germany. I hope we are on the same page here. You can be writing questions down. I'll answer them. Or if you're not able to unmute and ask a question, kindly type the questions on the chat box so that we can be answering them as we go on. So now that is what we call Ausbildung. It's a vocational training where you're working and at the same time you're in school. There's something very interesting with Ausbildung. You get paid to study. That is now the good part with Ausbildung. Now, if you're doing Ausbildung in nursing, for example, you get paid. The payment changes depending on the year of study that you're in. If you're a first year, your stipend is around 1,800 euros per month. Then second year it increases, third year like that. For nursing, it is 3 to 3.5 years of study. Engineering is 3 years. Hospitality is 3 years, but some 2 years. We have even butcher. Butcher is butcher. Butcher, the butcher. Butcher, there is Ausbildung in butcher. It is 1 year. So these Ausbildung courses have different durations and the payments are different. There are some things that affect your payments in Germany. First of all, your area, like your area of residence. If you're living in the northern part of Germany, that is Frankfurt, your payment is not the same as to someone who's living in southern part of Germany, for example, Dresden. So that's the difference. That is one of the things that affects your pay in Germany, because I know that is a question that you're going to ask. The other thing is your years of experience. And this is also something you can see in Ausbildung, because when you're in first year, you're getting paid around 1,800 euros. In second year, you're getting paid 2,000 euros. So with the more experience that you have, the better the pay. Now, for Ausbildung, you're studying for 3 years. Then, you remember I talked about European countries at some point when I was beginning. So if you work for 3 years, then if you study for 3 years, then you get employment in Germany. Of course, you're going to get employment immediately after school. You work for 2 years. you qualify to apply for citizenship, EU card, they call them EU card citizenship, where you can go and work in any European country, sorry. So there's like a law that if you have the EU card, you can work in any European country. Same way as when you have the German language, you can work in any German-speaking country. So let me answer a question here that has been asked. The question is housing provided or supported by the employer or the school? That is the first question. So housing, there are some schools that offer housing that will be included in your contract, but some will not. So for Ausbildung, they have the students they call them Wohnungs, where they are very cheap, they are affordable. So even if the school is not giving you the accommodation, you can be able to pay the accommodation using the monthly stipend that you're getting paid. And remember, you can also have locum jobs there in Germany. So you will be able to very well cater for the housing because you'll be a student. So you'll be living in the student apartments, which are very affordable. In Germany, but here I forgot to mention something very important. In Germany, education is purely free of charge. So even if that's why you see, you don't pay anything for the Ausbildung program. And since you'll be working, that's why you get paid. So even for the accommodation, the students' apartments, they are very affordable. Can I bring my family while doing Ausbildung? No, you cannot. Because you'll go with a student visa. So you cannot be able to go with your family. For you to go with your family to Germany, you need to be able to provide for them. So it means you need to, first of all, depending on the size of the family, you need to be able to be earning a very good amount of money that you're able to cater for all the family members. What kind of health insurance is required for Ausbildung students? Do you mean health insurance from Kenya or Germany? Because you don't need to have a health insurance from here. You will get health insurance from Germany. So please clarify that. Yes, so I've talked about the modules that are there. We have from A1 to C2. Nurses need B1, which is a very good opportunity. The rest, you need up to B2. Now, for every module, we charge 25,000 Kenyan shillings or 250 USD because of the international clientele we have here. So we charge 250 USD, US dollars for each module. For A1 and A2, for the nurses, your $250 is inclusive of the Cat 1, Cat 2, and the end of module exam. So that is how our program is programmed. We have Cat 1 after the first month of training. We have Cat 2 after the second month of training. Then we have a week of revision. Then we do the end of module exams. So for A1 and A2, it's inclusive of the CATs and the exam and the end of module exams. For those who are going to do Ausbildung, from A1 to B1, your $250 is inclusive of the CATs and the end of module exams. Now, please make sure you note this. For nurses, if you're going, you remember we said you need a B1. Sorry. So you're going to do an exam that you get a certificate because you have to provide proof of your German language knowledge. by doing an exam with an institution called Goethe Institute or OSD or USD. So those are the two bodies that are licensed to offer German language exams. If you're going to do Ausbildung, you have to do a B2 exam with either Goethe or USD. So please be keen on this. Then our classes are online classes. Each class has its Zoom. So every class is recorded and uploaded on our e-learning portal on the next day. So that if you missed something, if you're not able to capture something well, you can be able to go back now and go through the video, the PowerPoints, and understand the context that was being said. Even when you're doing revisions for your exams, you can always come to the portal, go through a certain class, and then you understand the concept better. So now that's how our program, our classes are programmed. So our next class is starting on July 14th. That is next week on Monday. So we have a few slots remaining. The next class will be starting on August 12th. So remember to enroll. You don't have to pay the whole amount at once. Just reach out to me. I'm going to give our numbers. So you can reach out through 07 or 2547 68 141. That is our German number. So reach out to, we are at the end of the presentation, our numbers are there, so we're going to display them. Reach out to us, enroll for the class as early as now, so that we send you an introductory package with the books. We enroll you for the e-learning portal, so that by the time the class is starting on Monday, you already know what you have, the curriculum, you have the timetable, you have the you are enrolled, and you have the books ready. So you will have enough time to now concentrate on the class. Now, what happens if you fail the exam? If you fail the exam, automatically you have to redo it. There is no other way around it. There are no Ausbildung programs in Germany. Germany is a German-speaking country, so they don't speak English at all. So that's why German language is a requirement for you to relocate to Germany. So you really are not, there are no Ausbildung programs in English. If you finish Ausbildung, you can either choose to work in Germany or come back to your respective countries, because you have a contract that says you're going to school for this amount of time. So once you're finished with school, they don't bind you to work in Germany. It's up to you to decide. Do you want to work there, or do you want to come back to your country and work and practice your profession there? Can I switch from Ausbildung visa to a work visa after completing the training? When you're going through Ausbildung, you go with a student visa. So automatically, once you're done with the student visa, you transition now to work visa if you're going to sign a work contract. But if you don't sign the work contract, of course, you have to go back to your country. But immediately you're done with the student visa, you either now come back or start working and sign up and get a work visa. There is no financial proof for Ausbildung. You just need a Form 4 certificate, KCSE certificate with at least a D+ and above, and a B1 or B2 German language certificate only. The other requirements you need, of course, are the passports, CV, but you don't need financial proof for Ausbildung program because you're going to study, and we said studying in Germany is purely free of charge. Yes, so that's the end of my presentation. Do you have any questions for me before I hand over now to the next person? All right, so I'm going to welcome. What kind of visa does a nurse require if you already have a B2 certificate? Okay, Sally Sharon is going to answer that question because now we are going to talk about nursing, because nursing is an entity on its own, is one of the pathways that you can use to go to Germany. So please, if you have a relative who's at home, if you have a friend who's not doing anything, and they would like to have greener pastures, tell them about the Ausbildung program. It's a very good program. So it's a very good program that's there. You're not paying anything. You just need German language only. And we have people who are there, and they are giving us the feedback, and it's actually nice. So in our next webinar, we will have one of our students who's there doing nursing Ausbildung. He's going to share a lot of information with us about Ausbildung. But for now, let's dive into now nursing. So welcome, Sharon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sharon. So as Sharon has mentioned, my name is Sharon. I am a nurse. And yeah, so what it takes to be a nurse in Germany, it does not require that much. It only requires you to have your language. That is German up to B1 level, your diploma or your degree in nursing from either Kenya or any other African country. So now when you have your language and your academic documents, the next thing that you do is that you apply for jobs in Germany as a nurse. Currently, there are so many companies that are looking to hire international nurses. So with the help of PASSCODE, you're able to secure a job contract. And then now after securing your job contract, now your immigration process begin through the help of PASSCODE, of course. They will do the documentation parts, the verification parts, and then after all your documents are in order, now they will be able to apply a visa for you. And then after visa, now you can choose a date to fly out of Kenya. So basically, that's how simple the German process is. But also there is a few things that you can consider when it comes to the jobs that you want to be applied for. Germany has different setups. You can decide to apply for jobs as a nurse in the home care facilities, either in inpatient and outpatient hospitals. And then also they have clinic setup where nurses work too. And then also you can choose to work either in the cities, in the village, or in towns. This is in between the city and the small villages. But from experience, the towns are recommended because now you get a balance of affordable living, good housing, and also there people are more. You can be able to grow your German language mastery, because your people there are a bit social, and it's a mixture of the Germans and the international, the immigrants. So another thing that you consider to process as a nurse to Germany is the salaries of a nurse are very good in Germany. Once you land, you will not start working as a nurse, as a registered nurse. You'll start working as a nurse assistant as you work on your B2 and other certificates that you can be qualified to work as a nurse there. It only takes around 4 to 6 months. Also, another thing I would like to mention is that this process also, it's one of the shortest ways of nurses going to abroad at the moment. You know, earlier we had the UK process, which got a bit complicated because the jobs went down. The other one is US, which now takes about 2 to 3 years to move as a nurse. But when it comes to Germany, if you have your language, your academic certificates, that is your degree or your diploma, you're able to move to Germany in a period of 4 to 8 months. But most people I've seen, they have moved in under 6 months. So the only thing that can stop you from moving to Germany at the moment is if you don't have your language. But if you're willing to do it, A1, A2, and B1, it will roughly take you up around 6 to 9 months until you do your B1 exams. And that's why PASSCODE is here for you. If you already have your B1, you can contact them. If you want to start, you can still contact them and let them help you to move to Germany as a nurse. I've seen a question from someone here. What is the relocation duration for nurses? So if you're a nurse and you don't have your language, definitely it will take you around 6 to 9 months of you starting your classes, preparing for your exams, and sitting for your exams. And once you're in, so you will start with A2, A1, A2, and then B1. But when now you get to A2, through the help of PASSCODE, they can start applying for you jobs, and then they can start to look for you jobs, and then you can start doing your interviews, so that by the time you finish your B1, you'll be in a good place to start moving. And then now after the B1, it can take you around 4 to 6 months to move if you start earlier. And now, so you add let's say around 8 months of reading and doing your B1 exams, and then add around 4 to 6 months of now doing the migration process. So it can take you anything from, if you don't have your language at the moment, it can take you anything from 8 months to 1 year to fully relocate. The next question was, could you explain how the nursing house building is structured in terms of classroom, learning, and hospital practice? So for the house building, it's a balance of both. You will do half coursework and then half hospital setup, but you start doing it. It starts immediately when you join the house building program. That means you start earning immediately, because you'll be learning in class, and then let's say 3 days in a week you're practicing in the hospital. Yes, so you have to work as a nurse assistant. What if you have B2? Yes, you have to work as a nursing assistant the first around 4 to 6 months, even if you have your B2. This is because you will have when you get to Germany, you will have to go through the integration classes. The integration classes, this simply means you have to go through the classes to learn about the specific names of diseases in Germany if you're working as a nurse, and then even the laws and regulations of healthcare in Germany. And once now you do that, Now, after now you have done the integration classes and you have your B2, now you become a registered nurse. You do, now you become a registered nurse there. But now but you're allowed to move and start working already with your B1. So another thing I forgot to mention is that this process, right after your B1, your employer helps covering the flying and helps you secure accommodation and also gives you documents that will sponsor your visa. The documents now, it's now the job contract, and now they help you get accommodation, and even they help you get the health insurance to present to the embassy as you apply for your visa. If a student struggles academically or fails a test, what support or options are available? I will circle that question back to Sharon. Are you getting paid as a nurse assistant? Yes, when you get there the first 6 months, your salary you will be paid as a nurse assistant, but again, it's very good amount. At the moment, they are starting from 2,700 euros to 3,300 euros. But remember, this is not a permanent position. You're being paid as a nurse assistant as you process your papers so that you can be a German registered nurse. Yeah, I don't know if someone else has another question, but basically that's what it takes you to move to Germany as an international nurse. So guys, I would really like to encourage you that the German language is doable, but what is important, if you're interested in this process, just start now, and PASSCODE will support you through your language process and even the transition part. I can see another question. Can one do 2 Ausbildung courses at the same time? Do you only take nurses to Germany, or the other Ausbildung courses in Germany? So unfortunately, you can't do 2 Ausbildung courses at the same time, because Ausbildung courses, it's like you're learning on the job and it's a full-time thing. Yeah, and again, you're paid and you're paying taxes because you're paid. So it's very hard for you to manage 2 Ausbildung courses at the same time, especially if you're an international student, because remember, you are also integrating into the culture and the system. Also, at the moment, there are so many Ausbildung opportunities in German, ranging from healthcare to IT, and then the technical Ausbildungs, engineering courses, things dealing with the aircraft. She mentioned there is butcher, there's hospitality, which is the leading one. The 3 leading ones are hospitality, healthcare. In healthcare, there are so many Ausbildungs. You don't have to do nursing if you don't want to be a nurse. You can be a medical assistant, a technologist, a lab technologist. There are so many of them. Healthcare assistants. There's so many of them at the moment that are taking in international students. But baseline, it's that they need you to have your German language. Once you have your B1, B2 certificate, then you will be able to have so many options to choose from. So unless anyone else has a question, a concern, or a comment, I think that is all that I add about moving to Germany as a nurse.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Okay, so I've haben Sie eine Frage? That means, do you have any more questions? Do you have any questions? I've seen a question here. Can someone apply for the nursing Ausbildung even if they don't have prior experience in healthcare? The answer is you actually don't need to have any prior knowledge on any Ausbildung course that you're going to do, because you're going to start afresh. It's just like getting to a campus here in Kenya, or a college. If you're going to KMTC, if you're going to maybe KU, if you're going to Nairobi University, as long as you're a first year, you really don't have to have any you really don't have to have any prior knowledge, because you're going to learn. But if you have knowledge, it's an added advantage, but you really don't have to. Is the process the same for Luxembourg and Austria? Yes. But now remember, each country has their own regulations. But for all of them, you would just need the German language. That's all. That's the common thing between them. But when it comes to now documents, you will find that there are some requirements. The requirements vary depending on the countries. But of course, the varying is not too much. Maybe you'll see them ask for your, I'm just forgetting the name of, Sharon, remind me. Oh, motivation letter. That is what I was forgetting. So the difference is not much. Actually, it's almost the same thing. What should I do if I get an offer but my visa delay? Can I travel home during holidays or breaks while doing my Ausbildung? For Ausbildung, the school sends the letter to the embassy. So there is no way your visa will delay, because the school in Germany is in communication with the German embassy in the respective countries that you're in. So your visa cannot delay, because they see that you're supposed to be in school at this time. So there are two intakes for Ausbildung, the April one and the September. So if you're supposed to be in school by maybe, let's say, April 14th, they know that you should have traveled earlier. So your visa cannot delay, because the school sends the letter directly to the embassy. You can travel during the holidays if you have the capacity, so it's not limited. So yeah, any more questions? The age limit for you to relocate to Germany is 42 years of age. So if you are less than 42, you can start Ausbildung. So they are not specific on the age limit for Ausbildung, but the age limit for you to go to Germany is 42 years. But now there are some schools which are very specific. If you're above maybe 36 years of age, you cannot do Ausbildung. But for you to go to Germany, the age limit is 42, if they have not changed. So in case of any new developments, we have a WhatsApp group. So I can be sharing information there for you to know more about the German pathway. I've seen a very important question. Are there opportunities for further professional development or specialization after completing Ausbildung? Yes. Education in Germany is free of charge. So once you're done with your Ausbildung, because Ausbildung is a diploma, Ausbildung is an equivalent of KMTC, for example. So once you're done with your Ausbildung and you want to specialize or you want to do a degree, you can always apply. you're there. So you can just apply and then you start your studies. It is a very good. Germany actually has a lot of opportunities. So when you have the opportunities, grab them by the horns. We are living in times where you just need to better yourself and make sure that you have somewhere to go back to. So Germany has a lot of opportunities, and the only thing you need is German language. In a period of a very short time, approximately 1 year, you're not in your country. Because if you give German language learning your all, it means for you to do up to B2, you only need 8 months. Then we start your immigration process. So just give it your all and everything will fall into place. So our next intake starts on July 14th. I'm hoping to see you there. We've shared our numbers on the, okay. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us via 07 or 2547 68 184 141. So those are our numbers. That is our German number. You can also visit our offices. Our regional offices are located in Nairobi, KTDA Plaza, 4th floor. So KTDA Plaza is opposite Kenya Cinema, and we are open on Mondays to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can also visit our offices and get more information about us. We are also on social media platforms. So follow us on our social media platforms, all of them at PASSCODE Global Consultants. We are on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. You'll be getting information about our upcoming events, when we have movie nights, when we have webinars. Like our next webinar, we'll be talking about Ausbildung Now program, and we'll have a speaker for that. When we have outdoor activities for German interactive sessions and all that. So please follow us to get more information on the same. And from the languages desk, I want to thank each one of you for attending, and I hope that you've come out of this with information that is helpful, information that you're now at peace knowing that this is why I should choose Germany. This is what I need to have for me to go to Germany. These are the expectations that I need to have. Yes, so I'm going to give this chance now back to our marketer. Think then we can have 1 or 2 feedbacks from you, because feedback is also nice. You can have both the positive and the negative criticism. We will appreciate it all. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Sharon and Sharon. You're welcome for the next webinar, which we will announce to everyone. Those who found time to join us today, just want to, as she has said, I want to give just 2 of us, maybe a lady and a gent, just feedback. Let me choose so that, because our time is gone, just want to give to 2 of us to tell us your experience. So have you learned something? Let me give one to David. David, if you can hear me, you can give us a feedback.
Good evening. Okay, I'm very happy for this webinar, and I'm joining it for the first time. Actually, I raised my hand before so that I could ask some questions, but unfortunately, I wasn't given opportunity. Currently, I moved to Germany. Mine happened that I moved through a study visa, but I wanted an explanation about this house building because I'm hearing it for the first time. Because I would like to move to a nursing profession because it is good, it is paying over here. But so far, it is a good interactive session, and I will really appreciate it for the work that you people are doing. It is a grateful one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, David. We've had your concern. You just pick the number that we shared, and we would like to give you a one-on-one engagement on the same. Now that our time is over, let me just share it on the chat. Okay, let me just share the screen so that you can see the number. Okay. Maybe as the next speaker comes in, Sharon, you can just share on the chat the number as I welcome the next attendee to share her feedback. I'm going to have a lady. Let me see. Njeru, not Njeru. Let me see Sally. Sally, welcome. If you can hear me, you can unmute and give us a feedback. Sally.
Thank you for letting us know all that. Actually, I'm shocked that you have to work as a nurse assistant. I've never had that before. This is the first time I'm hearing this. But okay, thank you so much for the meeting. I'm looking forward to the next meetings you guys might have.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I hope the number, let me just share the number on the chat so that you can pick right now before we call it a day. But it has been a wonderful moment, guys. That is the WhatsApp number for our German department. Please get in touch with us with any questions. We are doing our intakes, July intake, which is ending on 14th July, 16th, I mean, 16th July. So kindly, if you are interested in any of the pathways to Germany, just get in touch through that WhatsApp number, or if you can visit our offices or give us a call, we shall respond immediately. So welcome again, guys. We shall inform you of our next webinar just to give us more explanation on the pathway to Germany. May God bless you and see you next time. Good night and goodbye.